your future has not been created yet. Your future is created moment by moment with every thought you think. You're creating what happens tomorrow by what you think today. And when I say tomorrow, I mean tomorrow. I mean a few hours after this workshop. If you change and elevate some of your thoughts that you think in the next 2, 3, 4 hours, the fifth hour will be different. If you've got something going on in your life right now that's a huge challenge, what you think right now and continue to think every once in a while during the day is going to affect what happens next. I had this happen with one of my dogs, where the diagnosis was cancer, and then it wasn't. So what I want you to really understand is you influence what happens next. You determine that. And that's the good news. I guess the bad news would be that it sounds too big to do. It sounds too tedious. And that's why I want to suggest that you don't take this on as a big thing, because you'll do it for a half a day and you'll be done. I didn't do it that way. I took it on as I could. I took on the thoughts that were going to drive me crazy, and I refused to think about them. I made an appointment to think about them in a few days. And then I focused on how wonderful my life was when I pretended my dream was already true, knowing, it was really a knowing that everything will be okay. Somehow I'm going to be okay. That's what I trusted. That's where I moved my thoughts away from my fears and to the knowing somehow it was going to be okay. And when my thoughts got too difficult to manage, I would turn on recordings of inspirational, motivational speakers. I had to distract my mind. And then there were books I had on audio that I would listen to over and over. The Science of Getting Rich, Your Invisible Power, As a Man Thinketh. I'm just anything that would tell me I was going to be okay, that it's possible something wonderful was going to happen. I needed to know somehow it was going to be okay without me losing the ranch, without me losing everything that I had ever worked for. And that's the direction I was headed. We were discussing what could we sell to make that huge, at that time, $6,000, it was over $6,000 was our mortgage payment. And you add taxes, it was just for some of the basics. I don't even know if it covered, I think at that time Steve had a truck payment. Didn't cover that, but it would take over $100,000 a year just to cover most of our expenses. Not food, not truck payment, not anything else, not cell phones, not internet. And who could do that? I dropped out of school at 15 years old. Yeah, I went and had some classes later, got my GED, but I don't have the education to support the income that I needed to replace. I could get a job at a local restaurant, or, although at my age, who'd be hiring? If it happened for me, it can happen for you. And it's happened for me over and over and over and over again. It's still happening. Go for the dream. Just go for it and see how your life evolves in the process. All right. I had sent out an email this week, and I'm going to move this over here and share this screen, because Carrie wrote to me about this. And Carrie said something I really, really appreciated. She said she found the questions in the email uplifting and inspiring, and it occurred to her that asking the right questions is more effective than reciting affirmations. And I know a lot of people enjoy affirmations. And so first I want to read you these questions and notice what goes on in your body as I read these. Do you feel a little more relaxed? Does your mind go anywhere? Or is it just boring? So I'd like you to notice, and I'd like you to put in the chat what you're noticing as I read these questions. If you notice anything, or if you notice nothing, write that in the chat. Okay, here are the questions. What if something wonderful happens today? What if my life is about to change in wonderful ways? What if this is what it looks like when my dream is in the process of coming true? What if I'm super close to my dream being a reality? What if I'm close and I don't even know it? What if I'm meant to have my heart's desire? So go ahead and let me know in the chat what you noticed, or if you noticed anything when you get in touch with your body. Is there a feeling of relaxation, more openness? Are you noticing your mind go somewhere? Let me know what you notice. Oh, nice. I perked up and had a spark of interest looking around for the wonderful. Excellent. Good. I feel relieved. I feel curious. Lighter. Heart lightens up. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I have my notes here. What was I going to talk about? I wanted to compare an affirmation to a valuable question. So an affirmation to a question. And an affirmation reminds me more of a noun. It just is. Affirmations can work great when you use it as a tool to reprogram what you believe. Because when you repeat something over and over, it doesn't matter what it is, you will believe it after a certain amount of time, a certain amount of repetitions. It's like hypnosis. You'll believe it. Okay. A verb. So that's more like a noun to me. It just is. A verb moves you. It's like an action step. A verb, I'm going to the store. So you've always got a movement or an action in there. Or I'm sitting in the garage. So something you're doing. There's activity there. That's what happens when we ask a question. This is what happens not to us physically. It's what takes place in the center of your being. When you ask a question, there is movement. There's an opening that's created. These questions create the path to where you want to go. That's why Carrie noticed there's a big difference between this, asking a question, and an affirmation. I mean, you might want to use both. But what I'd like you to notice is what the value is of a question. What if something wonderful is about to happen? What if everything I ever wanted is about to come true? What if something wonderful comes out of this situation? What if? Normally we use the what ifs in the opposite way. So I'm someone who has panic attacks in my history, total anxiety, panic attacks, and until I got to the point where I was agoraphobic, couldn't leave the house for anything until I had enough medication in me so that I couldn't function. My mind was a swirl of what ifs. What if this happens? What if they find out? What if I embarrass myself? What if? And then you're creating all of that. So let's change that. Let's turn it inside out and change that what if to always something wonderful. What if I'm closer to my dream? What if this means my dream is going to happen at any moment? Because remember, a dream comes from out of the blue. You don't see it coming. Now, in the process I'm in right now, for the first time, I'm able to see the progression of it, which is amazing to me, to see these big leaps in situations that are in my favor. I've never noticed those before as the dream was coming true. So in most cases, you won't see that big thing landing in your lap. It will be a phone call you didn't expect. It'll be a letter in the mail. It'll be a chance encounter with someone who introduces you to the partner of your dreams. You won't see it coming. It's always unexpected. And out of the blue is how it happens. All right, so utilize, I really want to encourage you to utilize questions. When you're having a difficult time, let me look over some of these. You're having a difficult time, remind yourself, what if this is what it looks like when my dream is about to come true? And remember, those difficult times are not random. When you have been kind of noticing what you're thinking about and uplifting some of those thoughts, and you have a dream in the back of your mind, something you would love to have happen, when you're doing that, you're going to have the stepping stones in between that will lead you to your dream, and the stepping stones might look like a little disappointment. The stepping stones might look like a little scary event in your bank account. And I'm not talking something enormous. I'm talking about little stepping stones, not huge things. It might be getting looked over for that position at work, overlooked, whatever the term is. Okay. Those stepping stones are growing you to your dream.